Welcome. I'm Father Chuck Tobin. I used to be pastor here at St. Sabina in Belton, Missouri, and now I'm retired, but I still live here in Belton. And I want to invite you or remind you a little bit more about the Year of Mercy, because Pope Francis has designated this year all the way up till the end of November in 2016 as a year of mercy, as a time to really be thinking about our own lives and how we deal with other people. Pope Francis wears a very beautiful cross that is not exactly a crucifix. There's not the crucified body on it, but instead it has the Good Shepherd on it. And around it are images of the lambs. And so it is that he has asked you, when he gave us that Joy of the Gospel document, he asked you to also be a missionary of mercy, a person that would indeed reach out to others with a great compassion, with a great sense of love and understanding and forgiveness of other people. We happen to be in an election year when often people talk about excluding folks, whether we shut out the immigrants or whether we get rid of Muslims or whether we get rid of the poor and people that we don't like or that we don't agree with. It's just the opposite with Pope Francis. He's been so good around the world, both with his words as well as with his deeds of reaching out to people. As you remember, when he went to Mexico, one of the places he went was to the prison, to visit prisoners and to hear their stories and to understand that it is God the Father who gives us such great forgiveness and great love. And so the motto of this year is merciful like the Father. So he very much reached out to people like prisoners. But he also, of course, came right up to the border and talked about those who are migrating, those that are victims of violence, and those that are often, victims of poverty. And he asked that we be people who also echo that same mercy of God the Father with people like immigrants or people that are in prison. He also asks us, though, to be very aware by his life and by his words of our respect for people who are Muslims, for people who are Orthodox, for people who maybe don't always agree with us. And especially in this election year, it is a time when often people are very divided and don't want to even talk to the other side. So it is a good year for you and I to really stop and think a little bit about, what's this year of mercy mean? How do we live it in our life? And so let's ask God, especially during these days of Lent and as we move into the Easter season, let's ask God to help us be much like those the sheep that are being cared for by Jesus, the Good Shepherd, but may we also be a good shepherd unto others by our words, by our actions, and even by our attitudes. And you'll find that as you visit with people, you may be able to take some opportunities to really help people to understand more about what is this year of mercy. It's also a beautiful time of reconciliation. So if you'd like to turn back to the Father and ask forgiveness through the sacrament of confession, of reconciliation, what a wonderful time to do so. And to simply sit down and say, how do I want to change the way I live, my habits, the things that I do, and ask the Lord to really help me. It's a beautiful year, a time for all of us to really turn back to the Father, to be merciful like the Father unto others by our attitudes, by our words, and yes, maybe even by our votes, to be able to recognize that we are citizens of heaven, that we are the communion of saints, that all are our brothers and sisters. So may a loving God bless you now in the days ahead. May this year of mercy be a wonderful experience for you. And may you continue to read about that. You can go online, simply type in the Year of Mercy and pull up from the Vatican a lot more about this beautiful experience. So may God be with you, and may the Lord continue to guide you in this year of mercy.